are so many camera options to choose from in F1 23 that you might not know which one to pick. In this video I will show you which camera options to use to become more consistent in the F1 23 game. Let's go. In general, there are only really 3 camera views that could be considered worthwhile to use: Cockpit Cam, TV Pod and TV Pod Offset. I'll share my camera settings that are able to be used on every single car, but also some special tips for these camera views. First, let's talk about some general settings that apply to all camera settings. You should always turn off camera shake and camera movement. The camera shake and camera movement primarily throws you off when braking and accelerating, and turning it off will actually improve your consistency on track. For the specific cameras though, let's start off with the Cockpit Cam. You can turn the halo column off or on depending on how realistic or how easy you want it to be. Also make sure to put the look to apex limit to 15, which makes it so the game automatically looks to the inside of the corner, helping you to take a turn. There's 3 modes that I came up with you can run your Cockpit Cam in, depending on the field of view: Ultra Realism mode, Intermediate mode and Field of View mode. With Ultra Realism mode, these are the settings you would use. You'd be incredibly close to the wheel. The negative of this is that you don't have a wide field of view and you can't see your mirrors. Only if you're running an eye tracker to look around in the game or an ultra wide monitor, you will be able to see your mirrors. This is what it looks like when I'm using an eye tracker and looking around in the game. The positive is that this is ultra realistic, and I would know because I've driven a real life Formula 1 car. The video is in the description if you don't believe me. The intermediate mode is how I run the Cockpit Cam. It's a balance of field of view and realism. The only thing you would change here is the field of view from -12 in the ultra realism mode to -1 here. With these settings, you'd still need a wider monitor though, or an eye tracker to see your mirrors. The field of view mode, however, gives you as much vision as possible. Even though you're seated unrealistically far back, this gives a full vision including the mirrors as well. Just change the field of view settings to 13 from the previously shared settings. Next up, the most used and also most efficient camera option, TV Pod. Now these are my settings actually for the TV Pod camera. These settings have been used in previous games by various F1 Esports Pro drivers, and I've actually qualified for the F1 Esports Pro draft back in 2020 with similar settings as well. The most important trick that makes this TV camera so good is how close it is to the track. By being closer to the track, the sense of speed is way less compared to being less zoomed in. This gives your brain more time to process and focus on being precise. And these exact camera settings are the perfect balance between being close, but also still giving you a good peripheral vision on the size of the car, which obviously your competitors would be. Now lastly, a camera that doesn't get used very often, the TV Pod Offset. Because of its offset nature, it does not give you a center view of the track, which makes it harder for you to be precise. However, sim racers have often used the TV Pod Offset as an adapted TV pod. Let me show you what it means. By adjusting the offset lateral and angle from the TV Pod camera settings, you get a nearly identical camera. There's just a slight difference, however, in field of view. And this is where it comes down to personal preference. Using these camera settings will hopefully make you more consistent over the course of a race. Don't forget to check out my other F1 23 guides and like and subscribe if this helped you in any way. Peace!